fan favorite Abel Gonzalez had great hands on the butterfly wall and roulette roll. Oh! Then raced to his first ever buzzer on stage 2. I see you. We are able.
I've been seeing your soul. Give me things that I wanted to know.
Abel Gonzalez. Abel's coming off his best season, making it all the way to stage 3 in Vegas last year. With his success on American Ninja Warrior, thumbs up to the crowd, Abel's become a celebrity in South Texas and is working to make his community healthier.
My name is Abel Gonzalez. I'm 32 years old and I'm from Chicago, Illinois. And I've lived in Edinburg for over 20 years. Growing up in Chicago was very different from here. It was tough. My parents were very young, so they weren't financially well. There were times we were even homeless. But I loved my family. I never felt like it was a bad place, even though I look back at it now and it was really a very terrible place to raise children. My parents weren't as responsible as they should have been, and they ended up getting divorced when I was 10 years old, and then I was sent here to live with my grandma, with my brother Matthew.
Starting us off on stage 3 is an inspirational athlete out of Edinburg, Texas.
Getting diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis was just devastating. Really, that's the only word I can think of. I felt like if my life was basically being told it was over. At that time, I was into sports and always very athletic, and I was also working a lot, as a provider for my younger brothers. So being told I was going to lose my movement, and told a specific time frame, it was just really scary, really scary. And I went through all these emotions, but in the end, I just said, I'm not going to let that happen. I'm going to fight it. I'm going to find a way. Even if they don't have a way, I'm going to find a way. And that's what I did. I studied and I read, and now I'm here.
Total of 4 boards. They're 3.5 feet apart. You have to work your way across using your arms and legs.
Before I left the doctor's office, I threw away the prescription that they had given me and decided that I was going to study and figure this out because it was my body confused and it was attacking itself. So if it were some kind of thing where maybe I got a virus or a bacteria that, maybe I couldn't do an external factor. It wasn't, it was internal, so it was my body. So I needed to figure it out. And I knew that I could. If I really went down into it, I could figure it out. And so I started reading a lot. I started to try to figure out what was going on. I was looking for people who had the disease and managed symptoms, or maybe even got rid of it. I was searching the internet up until 3, 4 in the morning and some days, just reading, looking for answers. And I found people, and I would ask them questions. Sometimes they would reply, sometimes they wouldn't, but I just kept on going. And I started to get symptom-free about 2 months after leaving the doctor's office.
There you go. And that's the key, you gotta pinch with your legs.
Abel's the first of 8 to take on stage 3. Last year we only had 2, and one of them, El Hall, fell right here on the floating boards.
What I was doing, that my current lifestyle was the trigger. I wasn't eating healthy. I didn't even have a positive mentality. And it's so crazy how your mentality can affect your body. So learning about all these things, I applied them instantly because I didn't want to lose my movement. It was my life, being able to move and be athletic and have fun. So that was the driving force. It was just, this was my one life. I wasn't gonna let it go away in such a terrible fashion just because of miscommunication and me neglecting my health.
He's come a long way since starting as a walk-on 2 years ago.
Being selected as a captain was pretty awesome. I think we can definitely win this.
Trying out for American Ninja Warrior was just my appreciation for human movement. After reducing symptoms of rheumatoid arthritis and getting that under control, I said, what else can I do? I started studying movement and exercise to a point where I wanted to be able to do anything my mind wanted me to do. If my body wanted to do a flip, then I wanted to be able to do it. If I saw somebody else do something physical, whether it was a certain exercise or a strength feat, I knew that I could do it. So I studied movement, and when I saw American Ninja Warrior on YouTube, that's where I first saw it, the Japanese version called Sasuke, I knew instantly that what they were doing was nearly impossible. These strength feats where they're climbing on their fingertips or doing all these things, climbing ropes at ridiculous rates, I knew that that was the pinnacle of human movement, you know, overall athletic ability. So when I saw that, I was instantly hooked. I watched every video I could find, and then 2 years later, I decided to try out, and the rest is history. The experience there in Dallas, that's where I walked on. I waited in line for 5 days. My application wasn't accepted by NBC, so I had to go wait in line. Waiting in line for 5 days was kind of a challenge itself. It was very difficult. We were in Dallas, so the weather changed. Every one of those 5 days, the weather was different. One day it was windy, one day it was raining, one day it was super hot, one day it was very humid. So it was just tough to go through that. But I knew it was worth it because I could do it. I believed in myself. I knew my capabilities. I could see the course, and I knew that those were things I could do, that I could beat it. Being a walk-on was just me being determined to make this happen. It really was. I actually quit my job just to do that.
The reason we call ourselves the Invincible is because my name's kind of in it. Kind of have some fun with it. No matter what, we were always going to be invincible.
I wouldn't have done all that if people didn't believe in me. You know, my family, if they didn't believe in me, or my friends, or if I didn't believe in myself, I would not have taken all that risk. It was a huge risk if you were to look at it from the outside. You know, quitting my job, I had a very good job, and then making this choice to make this happen. That was a huge risk, but for me, it was guaranteed. If I got on the course, I was going to beat it.
Last year, now fellow ninjas travel from hundreds of miles to train there. Flies through it. Abel Gonzalez, thumbs up to the crowd.
So here in the RGV, we all know it's very different from the rest of the country, being next to Mexico and certain health issues that we have. When I was in Chicago, it was a different world. That place was more brutal in a way to me and my family. There were fights, gunfights that I would see, and people getting beat up, and there were times where I couldn't go outside as soon as the sun went down. So when I came here, I was like, wow, this is kind of like paradise. So, you know, I appreciated it instantly. And then the family here, when I came here, they were much different from my family from Chicago. They cared for me. So coming here basically saved my life. The RGV, the Valley, this atmosphere, the just Texas, in other words, saved my life from Chicago. Now, growing up here, again, I had to go through my own trials, but I always knew that this was better than where I had been. And now a lot of people that are here, they don't know that because they've never left. They don't know what other places are like. So if there's something going on here and I can have an impact, and our health is a huge issue, we're in the top ranks as far as obesity and having metabolic syndrome problems and things like that. If I can be an example, you know, and I can be here and come out of here and still be healthy and successful and doing amazing feats, then why can't they? So if I can show them, stand in front of them, show them that this is totally possible no matter where you live, even if it's here in the RGV, you can still do it. You can change your life, you can change your mentality, you can get healthy, you can get fit, and you can pursue your dream. We are all able. I have my hashtag campaign that shows if I can come from an area where I was malnourished, homeless at times, neglected, abandoned, and come here to the RGV and still come out and get healthy and be successful, there's no reason they can't too. The hashtag WeAreAllAbel, that's where it came from. Just me showing you that you can do it too.
Impressed by Abel Gonzalez, he adopted and helped raise his younger brothers. He built a ninja course in his hometown and has made it his mission to make South Texas healthier.
I've been seeing your soul. Give me things that I wanted to know. Tell me things that you've done. I've been feeling old.
But now, the jumping spider. And a good
I hope you enjoyed that video of Life of a Warrior, behind the scenes of what it is to be an American Ninja Warrior. Sorry I'm a little behind in my videos because I'm opening my all-new wellness center called AXIOS in Edinburg, Texas. Thanks for watching and don't forget to subscribe.